Welcome once again into today's 820 show. Your host, once again, Ming, Ahmad. Thank you for joining me, and thank you ahead of time until we actually physically meet one day. Thank you for taking the time to listen or to consider these words on this subject, which could be sounding a bit ethereal and fluffy, given the pressing urgencies and even emergencies that you go through every day or most days. So even though I call these episodes urgency meetings, urgency, not emergency, urgency meaning it's important. This moment is important, not because you're listening to me, this guy you don't know, because I'm asking you to consider each and every moment, if you must, each and every day, as precious and as fleeting as it always is. As they say, tomorrow is not guaranteed to any of us. I go further to say there is no tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. In the words of Mr. Eckhart Tolle, wait till tomorrow if you need to, but then please always ask yourself, when your quote-unquote tomorrow comes, what day is it? It's always now. Not the name, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, however we have named them in our lifetime. But this moment, this day that you wake up, is it now? It's always now. It is today. You can't say, oh, this now is tomorrow. You positively and honestly cannot tell yourself that story. This day you're living in right now, whether it be Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day it is, keep it simple. It is the now. It is this day to live, to love, to, suffer through, get shit done. But to stay focused and in that vein, on that subject, I'm asking you to stay focused on that simple yet sometimes complicated question to answer about what drives you right now, not what drove you yesterday or 20 years ago, not what may drive you tomorrow. And I don't mean your car in the garage or your Uber ride that you already scheduled. I am talking about internally what drives you. Now, I asked that question of many people that I have met, even total strangers and even friends, but very few people can answer that question honestly. I don't question their integrity, but the answers come back with some quote, some dictum, some statement on TV, or something that they heard in church growing up. I get it. We all have a creator. Whether you call it God, Allah, your dog, your wife, your husband, your money, your job, something drives you. And if you equate what drives you to what you have defined as your quote unquote creator, other than the ones that I understand from me, which is Allah, God, Jehovah, Buddha. But it comes down to you. And that's why I'm trying to get from different angles for you to consider how to answer that question for yourself. What does drive you? Now, of course, if you get a chance to review other episodes, even though I've been harping on that thing about your drive and what drives you, that main question that is essential to the book itself, resilience, the beauty of presence, but also more important is your definition of what that drive looks like, what it sounds like, how you define it, how you write it down, how you can read it, how you can express it, either in writing or in music or in words or whatever. But in terms of this connection that I want to expose to all of us, to me every day, and from me to you every day, that thing called resilience has to have some substance rather than just a fancy word or a glossy cover to it. But even that thing about drive being so important to me in my story and my purpose and message about resilience, I do want you to take a little deeper dive into that. And maybe not in the book so much, but subsequent to the book, maybe a year or so ago, a dear friend of mine, Miss Gina, let's give a shout out to Gina on this one. There has to be something beneath that drive. Beneath meaning the infrastructure, the substructure. What's the footing? What's the, almost like the base ground zero of your desire, of your drive. I kind of got ahead of myself. That thing is desire. Even as raw as you can come to grips with it, what is your desire? Now, of course, we're all desire, for me, that pizza of chocolate cake or another piece of pizza or a burger, which is not good for me in my diet or my expanding stomach right now. But that desire has to come, has to have more substance than just what you eat or what you enjoy doing, be it, sex, money, music. Even more than that, what is your desire? And trying to get to the brass tacks. What is that thing that you yearn for? And I mean yearn not in terms of what you want to consume or acquire or take. What is it that, lack of a better question, that drives you? I'm trying to get to that drive through identifying and having you to express what is that desire besides those things I just talked about, those surface things. Meaning that should give you an indication of what is pushing you to do what you do. Do you like to have notoriety? Do you want to be applauded? Do you want to be given gifts? Okay, that's a desire, but there's more to it. What about that gift given to you? What does it give you? Another shot of dopamine? Another happiness moment? But what about that keeps you going without those gifts? Has to be more than that. And has to be not an external gift given to you. What do you give to yourself and to your creator every day? That should be the first thing about desire. Do you desire to please yourself and that creator? Maybe that could be a way to start that discussion. What do you do to get that desire defined for yourself? And then, not between desire and that drive, is that critical, super critical part called discipline. Good to have a desire, but what's the discipline you put on top of that desire that then drives you into your drive? I know I'm trying to make a very complicated conversation into something I hope you can digest and take in. And if you don't like it, spit it out and find a better way for yourself to define it. As I said before, maybe take what I'm saying to you as a very low level, step over the hurdle baseline, and then get onto how you define it for yourself. Not only define it, apply the discipline, and then reinforce for yourself and keep answering that question every moment, every day that you are proceeding down that path into and through what drives you. Thank you once again. Until the next now we get to spend together, stay present, stay current, and remember, no matter where you are in this world, it is always 8:20.